Change the thumbnail later. All right. We are live in living color. Amanda. Hello, Amanda. How are you? Oh. Mama Cat. Good morning, good morning. How is everybody this fine morning? D. Green Gables. Good morning. Barefoot Ralph. How you doing, sir? I'm assuming it's a sir. It's Ralph. So, give everybody a few minutes to mosey on in here this morning on this. Whoa. What's up, Susan? Crash landing by a duck. Hey, Nicole. How you feeling, Nicole? Go for it, Amanda. Go for it. I deserve that. Kitty! Kitty, it's raining here today, so we're gonna we'll have a hangout day on Skype together today, Miss Kitty. I am free. Good morning. No, she hasn't. Amanda, I know she hasn't been to the doctor's appointment yet because she's hanging out with us for a little bit before she goes. So, Amanda. Ooh, Amanda, thank you for showing up. Hey, Bear Cub, can you bring me some of that garlic that's on the table of one of those big cloves? I got to teach them about something on that, please. Minuteman, what? Wayne. That's true. Amanda is exactly right. We're all praying for Nicole. And just like, I believe it's Philip, maybe, in Insomnia, his brother is going through something. Yeah, Phil Butler. We need to pray for him. I think it's his brother-in-law. And he's on a heart bypass machine. We need to pray for him too. And morning, RSJ, Texas. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We just got on, Suburban. We just got on. Don't worry about it. Josh is tough. He can hack it. No worries. Don't worry about Josh. Josh is tough. He can hang. So, better looking clove in here than that one. And dry out the rest of that thing. Well, thank you, RSJ Texas. We appreciate that. That's very nice of you to say. Kitty, that's not good. We got to have that Skype working today. Got to have that Skype working today, Kitty. Get on it. Uh-oh. Everybody got to pray for Mama Cat. So, stomach bugs are no joke. Okay, so first things first. It is raining here today. So stinks. Like we weren't far enough behind in the garden that we're getting some rain, and which makes it a little bit harder to try to catch up. But we needed the rain. Rain is always good. But there are still, because I'm basically cutting all of my grass with a walk-behind push mower that the self-propelled belt broke, so I've got to literally push it. This whole entire front half of my property, which is a great workout, but it says the bad thing is that every time I get a certain area cut, it seems to rain. Which means I think I'm going to be walking every day that it's not raining, pushing a lawnmower for the rest of the summer. Now, the good thing about it is I'll be able to rake that stuff up and let it dry out. And we are building... see, Amanda, that's not cool. See, Amanda, I got this to help you, and you gonna bust out like that? What was I talking about? Oh, we're going to make a homemade hay baler. Sherry Cherry sent me the plans for it some time ago. I know she's been MIA for a while, but she's dealing with she's doing a lot of family stuff. And send some rain to us, Jason. It's on its way. But we'll be able to do that, and then we'll be able to start to put some square bales away, not the big round bales, but it'll be square bales away that we'll be able to use later this summer. Hope if we run into if we run into the drought again this season, we'll be able to fall back on that. Thank you, Suburban. And so I'm grateful for the rain. I'm thankful for the rain, but at the same time, I'm kind of a little frustrated and a little like, because we're trying to get everything in the garden and run with it from there. So this morning, via Skype, Miss Amanda's garden asked me a question about garlic. Now, she didn't ask me if she needed to tie a clove around her neck to keep the sparkly vampires away or anything like that. She said, how do I plant it? How do I plant my garlic? Which, she's in Florida. She should have already had it planted. Just saying. Gonna kick you under the bus. But you should already had this done. But you take a clove, like such, Miss Amanda. Okay? And you see you got the pointy top end, and then you got that little thing right there. Okay? Hey, Yankee Living. Okay? This piece right here is where your roots and stuff are going to come out of, because it is basically almost like that bottom piece right there. Okay? So, now, this is how we plant them here on our homestead. I'm not saying it's the right way, the only way, anything like that. I'm just saying this is how we do it. This is how we roll. Okay? What we do... Yo, let's add Miss Rebecca from Suburban Hillbilly to our prayer list today. she's having a little bit of a rough go at it. So what we do is, like, if we're planting them in a raised bed or in the garden, but most of the time we do these in raised beds, by the way. We'll make a trench. And I usually run the trench because in a raised bed, my soil is very loomy. It's very fluffy. And I'll run the trench, and I'll run it down to about my first set of knuckles. Then I will plant these in, and I will take this piece right here, okay, like that, okay, and I plant it like that, and then I just cover it up. I just cover the whole thing up, and that's it, and I walk away. Do a little dance, and I walk away. That's it when it comes to the garlic. Now, one of the main reasons why I like to plant my garlic and a lot of my onions in raised beds is because of using the loomy soil. It gives them the ability to puff out a little bit and grow to a good size. They won't have to, that should be compacted or anything like that. Because with onions, if you want onions to grow to a full thing, they always tell you to always kind of make sure you pull the stuff back. My garlic usually ends up rotting. What am I doing wrong? How wet is the soil getting, Green Gables? That would be my question. So that was what I would be thinking. You're getting way too much water. Everybody get completely off devices if you're on them, please. That includes your little iPhone, Blaze.
Roger that. No one's on anything. Over.
Okay, now remember, guys, it is raining here with us, and it does seem like every time I got foul weather, my internet hoses. So, but this might be a YouTube thing because I'm getting pretty good numbers. So, let's see. My download is almost at the max. All right. Let's see what my upload is. Yeah, guys, it's got to be YouTube messing around with things. Because my internet is golden. So I don't know exactly what in the world is going on. It's not my internet this time, everybody. It is the okay. Alright, so it's got to be YouTube, y'all. Refresh or something. I'm sorry. But so that's how I do the garlic. So did that answer your question, Amanda? Tammy Palmer, how you doing? No problem here on the West Coast. All right, awesome. Awesome sauce. Thank you, guys. Rocky Brook Farmstead. Why are you leaving, Rocky? Gray beards. Ozark Off-Grid Homestead. Good morning, sir. Thank you for coming by. Two family, yeah. It's crazy how they do that. Two family. Um, so what? So normally, what I was going to do with this time of me coming on is doing like a kind of a water break, coffee break kind of thing, because this is about the time that we usually stop, take a water break, take a breather in our morning routine with getting all the animals fed and watered, getting in the garden and dressing up beds and planting and everything. Simply Seven says, is planting in a raised bed better for garlic to help limit the water on it? Yes, and it's also better to help with because you'll have very loomy soil in there, and that'll also help it grow. Onions and garlic, potatoes, a lot of your root vegetables, they really don't need a lot of water. But what they do need is not a soil that's not very compacted. They need loomy soil so that way they can stretch out and grow. So it really depends on your soil type. I'm in the granite capital of the world. We make jokes around here because granite usually, just for some reason, as the earth is doing its thing, we'll get granite just pop up. And Blaze loves to run around and take pictures and then send it to everybody and say, I thought we agreed to stop planting the granite seeds. And he'll have a picture of a new chunk of rock that is pushed up to the top. So that's one of the reasons why we like to grow a lot of our root vegetables, if possible, in raised beds. Now, this morning, I watched Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, their video with their potato box made out of the pallets. And I'm very interested to see how that one turns out. I'm going to be keeping my eye on that. And the reason why is because we made potato boxes out of, we took the pallets apart and made the boxes. And our boxes were nowhere near as large as Doug and Stacy's is. Plus, I think maybe more air will be able to get to it, and the way that they're doing it is completely different from the way that we're doing it. Ours absolutely stunk. It sucked. We barely got any potatoes out of it, and we did just like how it was always instructed. You let it grow up a little bit, then you cover it back up. Let it grow up a little bit, cover it back up, let it grow. And we covered it with not really dirt, but like grass clippings, leaves, and stuff like that. So that way it had all that room to stretch out. But so I'm very interested, because if that works, then next year we are going to try that here. And if it works for us, that's boom. I'm done planting potatoes in the ground. That will be the only way I plant potatoes ever. So if Doug and Stacy, if you guys are in here hanging out in the back, I'm very interested. I'm watching it, and I pray that you guys are super successful with that, so then that way I can adopt that way. Because in theory, that should work. In theory, with potatoes, that should work. And they should be able to grow hundreds of pounds in a pallet box. Basically, what they built. If you guys are interested, go over to Off Grid with Doug and Stacy and watch the video that they put out this morning about it. And I'm praying that it works. Because to be able to get a decent amount of potatoes, um, it takes up a lot of real estate. And if you're able to get them to grow vertically in a box, because that's basically what the theory is that you're doing vertical gardening. I absolutely love gardening, vertical gardening. Um, and what you do is, with the concept with this thing is they built their square box and they put leaves and stuff down. But then as the potatoes, the green stuff pops up, they pile more stuff on top and all the way. Um, and that's supposed to then basically each section, like a lasagna, then will kick out and grow potatoes. That's the theory behind it. I've been completely unsuccessful with it, and it frustrates the snot out of me. So that's why I'm going to be watching that one, because the moment that I seen him putting the pallets together and was talking about it, and I was like, should have tried it that way. Because you guys know I'm huge on pallets. I love pallets. I'm making everything out of pallets. And we should have tried it that way. And I think with mine that the box was too small, and no matter what we was putting in there, it wasn't letting enough sunlight get through. It wasn't allowing enough air to get through. And I think it just basically, for a lack of a better term, I think it just choked out my potatoes. So I'm very interested. Exactly. John Lord said, never understood flatlander gardening when you can do vertical raised beds or bins. Why water the acreage versus actual beds? That's exactly right. Anything that you can get to grow up, cucumbers, tomatoes, beans, peas, anything like that you can get to grow upwards is awesome, you know. And I like vertical gardening. Vertical gardening is great especially for those of us that are in urban areas and possibly living in apartments or in neighborhoods. You can grow vertically in windows, and you can use bottoms of 2-liter bottles and hang stuff up that way. Strawberries are good ones too. Yeah. So those are just awesome. I love, again, you guys know I'm kind of a outside the box kind of guy when it comes to gardening. I will grow stuff vertically. I will put stuff in raised beds in a heartbeat, and whatever I can use to save. Because the thing about, like how John said, when you're literally saving the acreage, you can be able to take an area of, let's just say, 100 foot squared, and be able to put raised beds throughout there and grow more than you would if you were to run rows. Then if you take those same raised beds and you do square foot gardening in there, your yield will explode from there. I do not agree with I don't know what that word is. I never heard of it. So, and then the cool thing about when you're doing vertical gardening is you can also take things like your lettuce and stuff that you can't grow vertically, and for areas like us in the South, if you grow, let's just say you take an archway, like take some cattle panel and you do an arch, okay? and you grow your cucumbers on that, and they climb up and go all over it. And the cucumbers are hanging down and looks like a bunch of pinatas. Well, underneath that arch, okay, you can throw some lettuce and stuff and broccoli, maybe even some broccoli in there in the heat of the summertime, okay, and grow those so that way they don't get burned up. Now, what you'll have to do is face that arc so that way some sunlight gets in through either end. You can run it east west, that way it gets morning sun and then some late afternoon sun, but it gets the shade and keeps them covered out of the heat of the day, so that way they don't bolt on you. It's always a good thing to try. Sullivan Family Homestead. Hey, how you doing? Yeah, the corner two-family homestead says corner of our house are wild blackberries and they multiply. Not sure why the previous owner planted them there. Blackberries are very, very prolific. Blackberries, raspberries, sunchokes, aka Jerusalem artichokes, mint, anything in the mint family. A lot of those plants are very prolific, and it's almost, let's see, you spend more, it seems like you do more work trying to keep them in check than you do trying to keep them alive. Because the animals, the plants that are very prolific, they're also, at least in my opinion, very hard to kill. We have mint in a raised bed that has completely taken over the raised bed. And we thought we lost them during this last winter. We haven't really watered them heavy or anything like that. And they're literally finding the littlest, tiniest holes in this raised bed, and they'll shoot out of it. And we got a late cold snap, and we thought, killed the mint. Nope. First hardcore rain. Vroom. It's like, hello, I'm back. Ha 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 ha. You can't kill me. Okay, Graybeard's Ozark off-grid homestead. Would it work using logs for a raised bed? Absolutely. You can use anything for, well, let me hold back the whole getting excited about raised bed train up. You can just about use anything for a raised bed. You just have to be careful with it. If you're going to use like Simply 7, they get food grade 55-gallon drums, and they Hong Kong Fooey cut them in half, put their soil in there, and then they use it as a raised bed. There are a couple of things that you need to keep in mind when making a raised bed. One, you need to make sure that you're not using a material that could have any leakage, any leak of any type of dangerous chemicals or anything like that. You can get old railroad ties and use them if you want to, but they better be almost rotted through to use them, so that way all that creosote and everything is gone. You can use heat treated lumber, cedar, cinder blocks, bricks, metal. I don't know if I would use too much metal though, to be honest with you. I've seen guys, there's a guy in Australia, the self-sufficient, he calls himself the self-sufficient me. Great channel. But he gets the big drainage pipes, the corrugated drainage pipes. He cuts them down in sections. He's a veteran too, and he got hurt in the Iraq War. But he uses them and brings them up chest high, so he can just go just like this with them, because he injured his back and he got hit with an IED. Anyway, but he uses those. You can use you can use just about anything for a raised bed. Let me see. I knew I had a question up here and I missed it. Jason, you don't know this because of you, I'm not picking violets. Two family, can you explain that, please? Don't use treated lumber for raised bed. That's right. Um, yeah, we have a lot now. See, here's the thing: if you've got cedar um, on your property, if you got cedar on your property, get rid of it. Drop it. Drop those trees and make your raised beds out of that. Because if you try to plant apples on your homestead and you have cedar trees, the cedars will give your apples there's some type of a bite. It's basically a fungus kind of thing, and it's very hard to get rid of. I have graybeards acre or Graybeard's Ozark off-grid homestead. I have 20 acres that was recently logged and it is covered in scrap logs, and I thought it would be a good way to use up the wood. I'd absolutely use it. Absolutely. Yep. Okay, I've seen a bunch of his face. He rocks those beds too. Yep. You're keeping her from her work. LOL. I guess I missed that conversation. But raised beds are awesome. Again, I got sidetracked. Got a squirrel. One of the two things. Oh, okay, that's funny. One of the things with your raised beds, you got to make sure you have good drainage in them. They so that way you don't develop root rot, which what sounds like Green Gables was having an issue with her garlic was the root rot. Okay, I won't tell nobody. Two family. It's between us and the 30 plus people that are in here. I won't. Cockeyed Homestead. Cockeyed Homestead. So that's, and another thing when it comes to a raised bed, I almost forgot. One of the things that we do with our raised beds. Now, again, this is just us. Know of anything I can plant to keep flies away? It is a black cloud of flies when I go out. Sod buster living. One of the things that you could do is you could start a black soldier fly compost bin. You can also start a worm bucket a maggot bucket if you've got chickens. And then that way, cedar apple rust. Thank you, Suburban. That way, the black soldier flies and the maggot bucket will cut down because the chickens and stuff will eat the larva, and so will the black soldier fly larva. They will eat the larva. But there's nothing really, aka to hardcore plant, that would repel. Yeah, Muscovy ducks work good. Stuff like that, So carnivorous plants, yeah, those would work too. But the problem with carnivorous plants, most of them are more of a tropical type of plant, and they're very hard for us in the States to keep alive. Muscovy ducks work great. So I heard, and my son done this, and we seen it out at a restaurant one where. But if you take a Ziploc bag, put water in it and put a penny in it, something about that makes them go away. So but when it comes now back to the raised beds, um, well drained, lots of good drainage. And one of the things that we do, the bottom of our raised beds is usually half-inch galvanized hardware cloth, and then over that hardware cloth, I will put cardboard. And this is the reason. The galvanized hardware cloth is to stop any type of burrowing animals, moles, groundhogs, uh, chipmunks, any types of those guys that would try to come up from underneath and grab my root vegetable. Um, the cardboard on top of that is to prevent any type of weeds or anything where I'm setting that grass to come up and grow up through my raised bed. And then how I do my raised bed after that is I put a layer of wood chips down there. You could put pebbles, but I do wood chips. I do about a 2 to 3 inch layer, then a layer of leaves, and then I put my compost soil. I plant, and then I put wood chips on top of that. Green Gables says, would you suggest planting Jerusalem artichokes around a pond? The problem with Jerusalem artichokes is they are extremely invasive. I think that once you got them planted around that pond, eventually they would start to creep out, probably within a season or two. But I don't think it would hurt anything. Now, the things that you got to remember that the Jerusalem artichokes is a root veg, and so it's going to be pushing that land away. So if you plant them on a dam, that could eventually cause damage to your dam. Mother Muscovy ducks for flies, really? That is cool beans. Yes, Sodbuster. Muscovy ducks are awesome when it comes to flying insects. That's why we have so many around our homestead. They help not only with flies, but with mosquitoes. Mosquitoes. They are ravenous when it comes to mosquitoes. So, but Green Gables, I always like to, all my invasive stuff, I always try to do my best to keep it in a raised bed. Now, I will plant my Jerusalem artichokes, some strawberries, like cucumbers, blackberries, stuff like that, in areas where I know I'm going to run my pigs. Potatoes, carrots, parsnips, stuff like that where I'm going to run my pigs. So that way, especially in their winter area, we'll take them out of there in the spring. Like right now, they're not in their winter area. They're back out there in the pasture, rooting around, getting a lot of the acorns that are left and black walnuts and everything like that. And then in the wintertime, I'll bring them back up here. We've already planted some Jerusalem artichokes in the ground, and I think we put some cucumbers and encouraged more wild strawberries and stuff like that to grow in there. So then that way when we bring them up here, August, September time frame, but these two pigs won't be here that long. They're getting processed here pretty soon. But we would bring them up here in that time. Then during the winter time, they can be rooting up, eating the Jerusalem artichokes, eating this, and they have kind of a buffet there of things that they can find and they can eat. And so we don't have to feed them as much, which mostly they only get slop anyway. So that's the way we do it. And the nice thing about the Jerusalem artichokes is they'll never be able to find every single one of them. And so sooner or later that whole area over there will be covered in Jerusalem artichokes. All right, simply keep me informed. Let me know what happens, and we'll be praying for you. Anyone ever heard of John Smith's story about the white Scovy duck that died? Nope, I haven't heard about that. No, haven't heard about that one. So that's the way we do it here. So um it's okay, sod buster. So that's where we are today. We thought we had the roof leak fixed, but I went out there and looked at it, and now there's a slow drip. So here in a little bit, we're going to go out there and put another layer of this tar and stuff on there, and go from there. And hopefully then that will fix it. It's a lot better than what it was. Now it's just kind of like a grip. Drip. Instead of the that was coming out. So we're excited about that. One step at a time. And so hopefully we'll get that knocked out. Maybe we'll catch a break in the storm, be able to go get that knocked out, and it's probably just a little pinhole somewhere. It doesn't take much for water to find, and we'll do it again. Now this week also, if it stops raining long enough today, we're going to have a cool video coming out Wednesday afternoon. Something that we're going to be doing. And so kind of excited about that. I kind of hope the rain passes and lets us do it. But for those of you that have been posted on the Fire Ants 2 thing, the video from today, thank you. We are going to try to incorporate, we're going to be battling these fire ants pretty much all summer. And so we're going to be taking a lot of these things that you guys are suggesting, and we're going to put them to the test. We already know that the grits and the rice don't work. So hopefully the ones that we got this week coming will work. Because the more things that we can do to get rid of these pesky little nuisance insects of the south, those deadly things, the better. So, boss, I can use leaves for mulch on the gardens, right? Yes. Yes, you can. And the good thing about using... Okay, I'm sorry. Amanda's Gardens asked, boss, can I use leaves for mulch on the gardens, right? Yes. Make sure they're just the old compost leaves. And I would run them, if you have a mulching lawnmower, run them through that and then put them on there nice and thick. You can use just about anything for mulch. I know Boss of the Swamp, he loves straw. He puts down a thick layer of straw for his mulch. Works wonderful for him. So you can use just about any organic material. Sodbuster, one more pertinent question. I am at our new place rental and we are planting in pots, but a snag hit me, and you may have guessed what. Soil. We have a compost pile started, but the dirt is not ready. Recommendations for a good soil purchase. Yes. When we look, I got compost bins out the yazoo, but sometimes my gardening zeal goes a lot further than my compost does. I'm going to run into it almost every year. And what I basically do is I go to the Home Depot or any one of the box stores and I start reading labels. Um, Start reading what that dirt has in it. And they'll say composted organic matter in there. That's a good one to get, and then just get the cheapest one. But read your labels. Make sure you're comfortable what it has in there. They start, if you see the word synthetic anywhere in it, no. Um, but yeah, if you see anything, herbicides added, pesticides added, no. But just label reading is the big thing that I can think. Uh, Black cow is pretty good. And then if you have bunnies, I think somebody already beat me to that punch, but bunnies, they're great. You can literally plant in a big old pile of bunny poo. Be done with it. Um, so what am I looking for in dirt? You want stuff that has a lot of organic matter. Organic matter is the best. And you want it to be having, because with the organic matter, you're going to have your party in there, what I call the party, and that's where you're going to have all your bacterias and everything in there doing their job. If you stick with the organic matter, then you don't have to worry. I wouldn't stress about the it's got 15% phosphorus and 20% nitrogen and this much iron, this much magnesium, and this much calcium. And we the organic matter stuff is what you need to look for, because then that will be putting in it, and then constantly be amending your soil throughout the year by adding rabbit manure, adding your compost as it comes in, and stuff like that, and you should be good to go. Cockeyed, if you got tons of rabbit poo, I need some, because my rabbits ain't keeping up with me. I've only got like 4 bunnies right now, and they're just not keeping up. It's like I want to come up there and squeeze them, make them poop more. But I know I can't do that because that's not right and that's cruel, so don't be saying anything. I get it. I'm just saying that's what I want to do. The loaded sink. In my area, you can find field dirt free on Craigslist. You just have to go pick it up. Field dirt is, you have to worry about what's in the dirt, though. Where did it come from? Did it come from an area that was around a chicken house or a CAFO and it's just loaded full of chemically induced poo? That's just some of the things that you got to worry about when you're grabbing field dirt. I mean, it's great that you can get it for free, but feed them more. What am I going to do? Shove it down their throat? I mean, they free feed. They can eat. It's always, their dishes, their containers are always full. Because that was my thought process. Plus, but hey, that's just me. The coffee pot is, or the coffee cup is empty. So it's time to switch to water and then tea. Water, tea, water, tea, water, tea. So hopefully the rain will stop here pretty soon. Cockeye said it's done for them. It looks like it's starting to slowly clear up for us. Maybe. Maybe. I don't see it. Might. Hello, mother. Hello, father. And looks like the rain has ended. So, yep. Looks like the rain has ended, y'all. So, if we don't have any more questions, What would you say is the max weight for a rabbit for a wire bottom caged? Ask Kitty's Homestead the Cockeyed. Later, Green Gables. We are in Northeast Georgia. Sullivan Family Homestead asks about where we located. Have you got quail yet, Jason? I need to buy some. I've got quail, but none of them are laying right now. I got young quail. I got them from Hope, and hopefully they'll be laying eggs in the next couple of weeks, and then I will get up with you, Mama Cat, and we will hook you up. Because Mama Cat, you want to get some of this beef too, right? That we got coming here pretty soon from the steer, because it's going to hang for about 10 or 14 days. So Friday it'll be a week. So maybe by the time you come and get some beef, you might be able to pick quail up at the same time. Just thought. Just a thought. So while we're in here and we're winding up the time to go, do not forget about Two Family Homestead. Their big collaboration that they've got going on with the Homestyle Dinner. I think this is probably one of the best collaborations that we're going to be taking part in a long, long time. Gopher Green's collaborations were always fun. And the 30 random facts, that was kind of fun, but almost got a little out of hand here on the Big Bear Homestead. Just saying. And so I think it's going to be cool to see different meals that people are going to be making and how they're preparing them. And I hope everybody keeps it tasteful. I didn't know you wanted quail, Cockeyed. What are you talking about 45 so far? So, 45 so far, partaking in the, and his goal was 100, y'all. I'd like to see him reach that goal. Anytime somebody sets a goal, I always like to see him reach it. I always try to, if I could do anything to help people reach their goals, I'm always trying to help it, because when you reach a goal, that's a really good feeling. You know, puts a smile on your face. So, mentioned what? Okay, Cockeyed's got me lost again. Cockeyed's got me cockeyed. So, any more questions before we round out the morning? That's awesome. Graybeards, thanks for coming by. I hope you subscribed, and thanks for coming by. We enjoyed having you in the show today. 30 by 36 cages. That's big. You know, Jano makes his out of those. Okay, Cockeyed, you just gotta come down here and get it. Once they start laying, I'll have more than enough. Boy, I mean, we're gonna talk about promises. You also promised to do a video with that table saw I gave you. Ain't seen no video you using that table saw. So, what was I getting ready to talk about? See, Cockeyed? You done got me cockeyed. I was talking about the collab. Wow, Jano with the wire closet shelves. Thank you, Cockeyed. He uses those and he swears up and down by them. And we are removing the tile in our kitchen. Now, Kitty, this is something you may want to pay attention to. I ain't see him. I ain't see him. You ain't tagged me in. And if you take a tile, a little square foot tile, and you put it in the freezer, and then bring it out during the heat of the summer and put it in their cage, they can lay on it and it helps keep them cool. It helps keep them cool. So we've been on almost an hour. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. We're going to try to make this a daily thing. And some days, now look, some days we'll be just too busy and won't be able to do it. I'll be honest with you. But we'll try to come in, answer any questions, hang out with you guys for an hour. And get you up to date. Some days I might be chipper and happy. Other days I may be just mad at everything that's going on. So y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Don't forget my live stream tomorrow, Wednesday, at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time in the garden with Big Bear Homestead. And hopefully we will actually be in the garden. So that's going to be something cool that we're going to try to do, is get actually out there and in the garden for In the Garden with Big Bear Homestead. And we're going to talk spacing. Like we tried to talk last week. We're going to try to talk spacing. You guys, don't forget, subscribe to one another, love on one another, watch each other's videos, pound those thumbs up. Do the same thing in my channel. Watch my videos. And let's support one another. Don't forget, you got the Big Bear Homestead group on Facebook that I encourage you guys, if you're a creator, go to that group, join it, and share your videos in that group. Selfless plugs are welcomed in there. You ain't even got to be shameful about it. Do it. Guys, don't forget the collab with Two Family Homestead. And I think that's about it. Instagram. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and a couple of other places that we're getting everything set up. I'll be bringing it to you and letting you know. So, be picking English peas tomorrow. That's awesome. That's awesome, D. I'm jealous. So, alright. Sun's coming out, so it's time for me to get to work. Thank you guys for stopping by and hanging out with me while it was raining. Appreciate it. Don't forget, tomorrow, live stream, hopefully from In the Garden. And we're talking spacing. You guys have a wonderful day. Get out there, get something in the ground, and grow something. Love you guys. Thanks. Bye.